Hello, and welcome to Enhancing Azure Cache for Redis with Redis Enterprise Tiers. I'm Amiram Mizne, Principal Product Manager with Redis Labs. Today, Microsoft and Redis Labs jointly announced private preview availability of Redis Enterprise on Azure Cache for Redis. The new Enterprise tiers allow you to expand your use of Azure Cache for Redis in more ways than ever before. Whether you're looking to scale your applications to handle more data with more cost-effective options or implementing new capabilities such as inventory management, search, or IoT at instance experience speeds. We hear a lot about what our new normal or new reality is like or is going to be like, and that narrative seems to keep changing every other week. But I believe that we can all agree that in order to maintain competitiveness, businesses need flexibility to respond to changes, which platforms allow them to innovate and iterate quickly, all while providing excellent user experience through fast response times and availability everywhere without compromising data security and customer privacy. Azure and Redis Labs have joined forces to live up to this challenge. We have Azure that needs little introduction, a top cloud provider available on 58 regions worldwide with market-leading certifications from industry standard groups and governments, and top-of-the-line security, not to mention one of the friendliest environments for developers. And we have Redis Labs, home of Redis, one of the most widely used and loved open source and community-supported developer tools. Redis Labs provides Redis Enterprise. It has open source Redis at its core, with added capabilities on top to make it even more performant, highly available, geo-distributable, and an overall more secure database. When designing this new service offering, our two companies' engineering teams had the following key values top of mind: improve developer productivity, ensure operational resiliency, and ease of cloud migration. Let's talk first about improving developer productivity. Leveraging the Microsoft Azure experience, the new Azure Cache for Redis tiers expand on a familiar, well-established developer toolset. Developers can deploy a new Redis instance within minutes on the Azure portal with a graphical user interface or automate their deployment using Azure Resource Manager templates, Azure CLI, or Terraform. Just like the existing Azure Cache, Enterprise tier instances natively integrate with Azure App Service, as well as many other Azure native services. The Redis resource is fully managed by Microsoft with joint support from Microsoft and the Redis Lab support teams. Backed by the Redis Enterprise cluster, Enterprise plans simplify Redis client application lifecycle. Large datasets that would previously span partitions and are served by a single endpoint. This capability is similar to Azure Cache for Redis Premium plan without requiring Redis cluster client implementation or changes in application logic while scaling. Support for open source Redis cluster API is planned to be added in public preview later in the year. The Enterprise tier supports multiple Redis modules, expanding Redis functionality. Support for additional use cases on the same technology stacks flattens the learning curve and accelerates development. In this case, Redis Search provides superior performance over a variety of search scenarios which are essential for retailers, for example, moving to and scaling e-commerce. Source available Redis Search is offered as an enterprise-supported product on Azure Cache for Redis. Another popular Redis module is Timeseries, which enables, for example, IoT, Internet of Things, and analytics use cases. It is already integrated with many popular tools such as Prometheus, Grafana, and Telegraph. Source available Redis Timeseries is offered as an enterprise-supported product on Azure with Enterprise tiers. Finally, in our modules lineup for Azure Cache for Redis, Redis Bloom adds probabilistic data types to Redis. One of their key advantages is getting query responses on an otherwise very large amount of data more quickly, with a smaller data structure in use cases that allow you to give up some accuracy. Again, this source available module is provided as a fully managed enterprise level support module as part of the Azure Cache for Redis Enterprise tier. Now let's talk about operational resiliency and what it means. Operators don't want the burden of deploying new infrastructure or going through lengthy procurement cycles. They want to provide their developers and organizations with tools that work reliably and securely out of the box. As I mentioned earlier, Azure has more compliance and security certification than any other cloud provider, as well as operating in more regions than any other provider. Let's look in some more details at the tools available today and what's coming next for Enterprise tier. Coming later in public preview, non-geo-replicated enterprise resources are deployed as multi-node cluster across multiple Azure availability zones in the deployed region. This provides resiliency to failure of an entire availability zone. Active Geo-Replication, also becoming available in public preview, provides local latencies with even higher service resiliency and the abilities to survive an entire region failure. Today, we can already use Azure IAM role-based access control to manage Redis resources. Redis resources are deployable with a public endpoint or within a VNet. Looking forward to public preview, we also plan to offer Azure Private Link support. TLS data access is also an option, and you can choose between clear text access and TLS secure access to the endpoint. Azure Cache for Redis Enterprise SSD Tier is powered by Redis Enterprise Redis on Flash. It creates databases that extend your DRAM capacity with NVMe RAM to store significantly more data with fewer resources, reducing costs. Instead of keeping the entire dataset in DRAM, Redis on Flash keeps only the keys and the Redis dictionary in RAM, along with the hot values of the dataset. The warm values, the one that are lesser used portion of the dataset, are kept on the local flash storage. This enables deploying large datasets, typically over 100 gigabytes, on more affordable compute resources, making SSD plans more cost-effective dollar to bytes. And finally, around easing cloud migration, looking forward in a joint roadmap, our teams are looking at leveraging conflict-free active geo-replication to enable users to migrate their workloads to the cloud, maintaining persistency and ensuring zero data loss, all while keeping a firm leg on premises. This provides a flexibility of keeping a hybrid deployment model or eventually shifting entire workloads to be fully cloud managed, depending on how business needs evolve. So I've talked quite a bit about this. Let's go see a demonstration. And we'll start with the Azure portal. Let's start a demonstration in the Azure portal. I'll point out some differences here. The portal Azure Cache for Redis create experience is a new experience that's still in preview. Instead of the nested tree-like configuration that's currently public, this is a sequential step-by-step wizard-like create experience. I'm also using dark mode, which you can configure if you like that experience. And I'm going to choose a resource group and a location, which is West US, and I'll give my Azure Cache for Redis resource a name, and then I will look at the available plans. And as you can see, we have some new plans that weren't available before, such as the Redis on RAM enterprise plan that has 12 gigabyte cache, or a Redis on Flash enterprise SSD plan. So I'm going to choose the Redis on RAM plan, hit select, and then I can just hit review and create and go to the end and get a resource fast. I do want to show you a couple of things before I do that, so I'll go into the advanced tab. We talked about having modules available, so they are here, and you can choose one of them to load before creation. And then you can toggle between clear text and encrypted endpoint access. And you can also choose eviction policies for keys that have expiry. Now, going back to the create page, you can see that we've worked with the Azure team to integrate the marketplace experience into the portal experience, simplifying the create experience. And by agreeing to terms and reviewing the configuration that I have chosen, I can create my Redis resource. Now, right now this is in private preview, so it's not a build yet. But looking towards public preview, we're working with the Azure team to integrate billing and enable customers to use their enterprise agreements and credits, Azure credits, towards purchases of the enterprise plans. Now, while we're waiting for the instance to become available, let's look at an existing instance I've already deployed and use that and connect to that one so we can run our demo application. So I have an E2 12 gigabyte enterprise plan set up with Redis Search module, and it has a endpoint that's already available. Now the application I'm going to show for a demonstration is called Brutus. It simulates a fictional beer distributor. It uses Redis stream data type to keep track of store inventory, and it uses the Redis search module to index the data and enable a storefront search engine. Now, both of these capabilities are available in the Azure Cache Enterprise tier. It includes the Redis search module, I just showed, and then it also includes the stream data type that comes with core Redis. Now, I have an app here that I've deployed on Azure App Service, and I've already plugged in the configuration. Let's take a quick look at that. And you can see the Redis host that's plugged into here. Now let's launch the application, and we can see the virtual storefront for our beer distributor. Now we can search for beers that are available. So I'm into unfiltered beer these days. So I'll look for no filter. And there's an interesting one here, Admiral Akbar. Let's see if I can get some in my area. And looking at it, I can see that there's a couple of stores. Berkeley is looking like it's kind of running low, being yellow here. So let's look at this. Yeah, they're only available 11. Okay, I might head down there. Hopefully, it's not a trap, and they actually have some for me. So let's look at a little bit behind or under the hood, I should say, or behind scenes and see what's happening with our database. So I've set up Redis Insight, which is a free developer tool from Redis Labs, and I've connected it to our database, which we ran the app against. And Redis Insights allows you to, as a developer, explore database that you have, including providing various statistics. It also allows you during the development process to look at things. For example, in this case, we have a stream-based application that has inventory updates that come within that stream. So as I build the app, I can debug it through this tool. I can also design search queries. For example, if I just want to search, make sure that the query that I've built actually works. If I want to look at a range of alcohol levels in the beer, I also designed a query here, and I can execute that query against the data set and get results. And if it doesn't work, I can design a different query. Other tools that are available within Redis Insights are memory analysis. There's a CLI tool as well, which you can use, all built into one tool, and is already available and integrated with Azure Cache. For Redis, this one is actually running on Azure App Service today. So to summarize, Azure Cache for Redis Enterprise tiers available for private preview today. Go to redislabs.com or search Azure Cache for Redis on the Azure Marketplace to learn more about either becoming part of private preview today or learning when public preview will be available later in the year. Thank you so much for your time.